Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel Castaneda and I'm part of the Ampath web interface group. And today I'm going to be showing you how to install and maintain your project. Following our installation guide provided to you in the code, our first step will be to download Python. We can follow the following link and download Python here. For our purposes today, we're going to be using Python 3.7.x. depending on what version you download, but definitely 3.7 for the least amount of dependency issues. Simply clicking download and finding the appropriate version for your operating system down here should suffice. On to step 2, our next step will be to download PyCharm. This will be our IDE. Simply follow the link, click download, and you may download the community or the professional edition, which is provided to students for free. It's up to you, the differences are minimal, but it's a pretty straightforward process. Moving on to step 3, we're going to go ahead and start up PyCharm. So let's do that. Opening up PyCharm for the first time, you're going to be greeted with a screen that looks like this. So for our purposes today, we're going to be using get from version control. What this does is it pulls the product directly from GitHub and it handles all installation and setup for you. And that's what we want. So what we need is the project's GitHub link. It's provided to you in the installation document as well. So we go ahead and copy that, paste it right here. I'm going to rename the folder directory that it's going to install in because I already have the default used. Go ahead and click clone and you should be good to go. In the event that you have a red banner here that says missing Git, you can simply click install and it will handle that for you. You're just missing Git on your computer to do the pull. Once we arrive at our PyCharm, we'll notice on the bottom right-hand side that it says no interpreter. What we want to do is go ahead and click that and click add interpreter. If you installed Python correctly, base interpreter should show the directory to your Python. Leave all values as default and click OK, and you should be good to go. At this point, Python IDE PyCharm is going to be setting up a virtual environment for you. This may take a couple of minutes, but we'll wait here. Once PyCharm has successfully added a virtual environment to your project, what we want to do is go ahead and open our service status folder and click manage.py. Because we're missing the requirements for this project, we're going to get a yellow banner up top saying we need to install requirements. Therefore, simply clicking install requirements should install everything we need to run our project. This one may take a little bit longer than the last, but it shouldn't be too long of a process. To save time, we're going to move on to step number 8. We're going to go ahead and open the service status folder, and we're going to duplicate settings-dev.py. Simply clicking, copy, and pasting in the same folder. We're going to rename it settings.py. We should be good to go. At this point, we're going to let PyCharm do its thing and download all the requirements necessary for our project. In the meantime, we're going to download and set up our database. If we follow the installation guide, we are now by step number 9. Following the link here, we'll be greeted with the MySQL installer. Simply clicking here and downloading the one appropriate for your operating system. I like the top one. You'll be greeted with this window, sign in with your Oracle account, and you should be ready to go. Once that is downloaded, we'll go ahead and run. Because MySQL installer wants to install a lot of extra things, we're going to be doing a custom installation today. Go ahead and click custom and next. Under MySQL servers, we're going to get the latest version of MySQL Server 8.0. Simply add that to your list of products to be installed and collapse that. Under applications, we're going to want to download MySQL Workbench, the latest version of 8.0. And we should be good to go. You may not get this warning, but I do because I already have this path selected. So just go ahead and click next. At this point, you may be greeted with an error prompt saying missing dependencies or missing installations. You can go ahead and click install on those, and MySQL installer will guide you through it, downloading the appropriate Windows files necessary to facilitate the installation of MySQL Server and Workbench. Once we've finished installing, we're going to go ahead and click Next. At this point, we're going to be configuring our MySQL Server and Workbench. Because I've already installed this once on my computer, it may be a little bit different for me than it is on your end. Therefore, you may simply click Next and select all the default values for everything. At this point, when it says root account password, I've already set up my root password. Therefore, this is going to be completely different to yours. It's going to want you to select a new root password. It is extremely important that you remember this password. And for that sake, I named my password PASS, P-A-S-S. So super simple, I'll never forget it. And it's pretty self-explanatory. So go ahead and click Next. If you want to use the same password, nobody's going to break into your system if you do. At least I don't think. Go ahead and click Execute, and you should be good. Good to go. MySQL Workbench should also pop up, but more on that later. Let's go ahead and close that for now. After we set up MySQL, what we want to do is we want to edit our path variables. So what we do is simply type in path into our search window and click Edit. Click on Environment Variables and click on Path. Click on New, and here we're going to set a path to our MySQL. So for me, it's going to be, let me actually show you how I get there. This is where my MySQL Server 8.0 lives. What we want to do is we want to set a path to the bin folder. So simply copy this link right here, this directory, click New, and go ahead and set that up. You should be good to go. Click OK. Go ahead and type in CMD in your start command line. This should open a regular CMD command prompt. What we want to do is type in MySQL -u space root, which is going to be the name of the root account. It's called root, and then -p. It's going to ask you to enter your password. Remember that password that we entered a while ago that I told you have to remember? Well, mine is pass, so pass. At this point, we're greeted with our MySQL monitor. This lets us manipulate the databases on our computer. So what we want to do is type in the following command: create database service status. And it's going to say error, cannot do that because mine already exists. But for you, it should work because you've never done this before. So I'm going to go ahead and put a hyphen in mine, and you're going to see that it works. Or not. Service status 2. There you go. For you, please use this command. Do not use any of these. Simply use that one. I just want to show you that it does work. At this point, we've already created our database, so now we can begin moving items into it. If you look in your folder with provided files, you'll notice that there is a database folder. The PLs may have provided you with their own proprietary database folder, but it's simply a folder full of SQL files. What we want to do is open this folder, and it should look something like this. A lot of SQL Server files. So our job is to open a CMD command in this folder. And what we need to do is type in the following command for each one of these files. MySQL \u root password, and then the name of the database that we want to put this information into. So service status for you. We're going to put a less than sign, and we're going to put the name of one of these right here. So for this one, it's going to be service status _auth_group.sql. And it's going to ask me for my password. Type in pass, and good to go. Now, do it once again. Auth group permissions.sql pass. Now, we have to do this for all of these files. So I'm lazy, so I made a small batch script that does it for me. So I'm not going to include this in the actual files. If you want to create it or Google it, you can. But this is simply the code for it. You simply type this in a notepad and save it as loop.bat. And what you can do is go ahead and run that. And what it does is it's going to take in every one of these as an argument and loop through every file and dump it into your database. So simply clicking this, let me show you that it is what it actually is. You can click this right here, and it's going to ask you for your password. So instead of typing this whole line out with a new name every time, just type pass, 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 and do this all the way until the end. Now, back to PyCharm. Our database should be successfully set up, and it should show packages installed successfully. What we want to do at this point is go back to settings.py, our new settings.py folder. And what we want to do is we want to set line 30 debug equals true. So what we want to do is make sure that we are debugging and not actually deploying. Now, lines 90 to 94, right about here. We need to put in our database name. And remember that we just made our database a while ago in the command prompt called service status. So we go ahead and put that. For the user, we're going to put root. Password, we're going to put that special password I told you not to forget. And for the host, we're going to put localhost. We can leave the port the same. We can go ahead and save that. Now, at this point, we are good to go. Go ahead and run your terminal. Just click down here in the bottom left. I don't know if you saw that. Terminal. And we have to make migrations. Anytime we make changes to the model or database schema of our project, we have to make the migrations and migrate. So we're going to run py manage.py make migrations. Py manage.py, and then we're going to hit migrate. And there we go. There were some migrations to run. At this point, our project should be good to go. So manage.py run server. At this point, it should say that your server is running on 127.0.0.1:8000. That's the default port. For me, that doesn't work. I'm not sure if that's a common thing, but I have to run my server on a different port. So I go ahead and specify port 8080. And there we go. Our project is good to go. All right, now onto some maintenance actions that can be performed on our server. Let's go ahead and run that. Manage.py run server, and I'll be running on port 8080. This is optional for you. So once that's running, we go ahead and click that. And you may have noticed there's no tickets. That's not good. It's not good at all. So we want to be able to control that. We want to be able to create a testing environment that allows us to maintain and run our tests. So let's go ahead and minimize this and go to our terminal and click Control-C to stop our server from running. Now, at this point, let's go type in py manage.py create super user. And what this does is we're going to create an administrative account. So for this test, I'm going to select the name installation test. Email address is going to be installationtest@gmail. This can be anything you want. And the password is going to be my favorite, pass. And it's going to ask me if I want to create, if it's too short, and yes. So now we've created a super user. So at this point, we can go ahead and log on to our server once again. At this point, what we want to do is type in /admin. And you're going to be greeted in with this page right here. Now, let's see, installation test, and we're going to type in pass. And you'll notice that it's just redirecting me to the same thing over and over again. That's not good. So if you ever run into this error, what you got to do is you have to go ahead and stop the server and open up settings.py. And under session cookie equals true, just go ahead and set that to false. This is going to be on line 166 of settings.py. Save it and rerun our server. and go ahead, run. We're going to go /admin, installation test, pass, and we're in. At this point, you're able to edit client domains, email domains, priorities, regions, and everything. And the most important one, tickets. So let's go over to tickets and click add a ticket. Now, we're going to create a ticket with these two subservices. You can control click, and they're going to be outages. So let's leave that there. And the date's going to be today and now. And let's leave this field blank. Action description, we're going to put ticket description would go here. Action notes, ticket notes would go here. And let's add a ticket log. So this ticket log is going to be in process of today and now. And the notes is going to be ticket logs, notes 1. Ticket log 1, notes 1. There you go. And you'll see that ticket 00045 was added. Perfect. So now if we go back to our main page, we'll see that we have a new ticket ready to go. You can click on it and there it is. As for navigation, you can navigate through all the previous tickets by clicking on the recent page. And you can view the history of tickets down here by selecting a filter of a domain, services, or a subservice, depending if they've had anything. You can manage your subscriptions on this tab, and there you go. And that's all for maintenance. Thank you all, and I hope you have a good one. Enjoy your project. It's a great learning experience.